Hey folks, Dorian Alberti here. Welcome to ETA Files. Let's rock and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week on ETA Files. Got a special fella here, the one and only Dorian Alberti. I always get your last name. I don't know if it's Alberti. I
Well, it's
guess
however Ronnie Craig wants to pronounce it.
Dorian Alberti. Yes. Yeah. Hey, hey, I'm no good with names either, but how you doing, sir? Good to have you on.
Oh, I'm doing excellent, and even better now to be on, and I appreciate the invitation.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very kind. I like your background there. What do you got going on?
Oh, well, it's a couple of old projects that I used to do before engineering school. I made the Iron Man suit and this custom in high school. Made them in high school and perfected them in college and have another one behind the screen. But yeah, so that's what I did before working with other materials and things like that.
So you're an engineer.
An
Uh,
engine nerd. No.
I'm going to remember that one. That's good. I have a friend who's probably watching right now. His name's John Jeffords. He's an engine nerd. He is,
There's
yes.
a lot of us, we got to stick together. Everybody's got their own things, and
Hey,
engineers
come.
can make
Yep.
their own things.
Are you going to be at Elvis Explosion this year?
I will be.
Come
That's
on
yes, I
back.
will.
Come on
Yeah,
back and
I'm
see
coming
me,
back.
and I will introduce you to John Jeffords, the engine nerd. Yes,
All right.
he's going to be there. Awesome. All right. So, man, you're out of what? You're out of Florida.
I am. I'm currently out of Clearwater, Seminole, Florida, out in that area.
And
Um,
yeah, and as you know, it's like you're obviously bright, and we'll get into what you do, day job, so to speak. But
oh,
you're obviously into Elvis.
I am. My parents brought me up on Elvis, and it's been, I've only listened to really oldies growing up, and to find this way into this universe, uh, the Elvis universe, it brings so many smiles to the old fans, the new fans, and it's just such a great community. That's why I really got into it.
That's awesome, man. You're. Can I ask how old you are?
27.
Yeah, so you're still young, man. 27 years old. You're out there doing Elvis. You've got the hair and the sideburns. You rocking that all the time?
They don't come off, so it's an interesting conversation for my customers at the day job when we have our first meeting, and then I tell them, and then it actually helps in the business development.
That's interesting. Yeah, man. Sometimes I knock it sometimes too. It's not always fun to walk into Walmart, every time and have everybody say something. But but there are times where it works to your advantage.
I think it works to my advantage as long as whatever's going on in somebody's day. If they see me and they're like, "Huh, that guy, looks like Elvis," or whatever they have to say, even if they're laughing at me instead of with me, as long as it brings a smile to their face,
I
that's
like
what
your
that's what
attitude.
it's about.
That's awesome. That's a good lesson to learn. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, so tell me how you got started. Obviously, you said your parents and whatnot, but there's got to be more to the story. That first time singing, that first outfit, that all that stuff. Tell me about you growing up, Dorian, and how you really got into this.
Into the ETA world.
Yeah.
So I was as an engineer, I'm very analytical about things, and I had a minor in IP law, so intellectual property. And I was kind of worried that getting into the ETAs, I'd have to pay, I would get sued or something for not having a licensing fee paid to somewhere, EPE. So I kind of just did karaoke around, and then I ended up making a jumpsuit out of an old Dickies jumpsuit for a Halloween one year, and my mom really loved it, and it was so fun to see everybody's reactions and all of that, and that was before I actually had the hair and sideburns down, so it was basically like face paint. But yeah, it was interesting how it unraveled. I was on a last minute business trip to Las Vegas. When I mean last minute, I mean my boss said, "Hey, there's a conference next week, and I want you there. Okay, so I used the company car and I booked the trip, everything, and then I said, well, while I'm here, I might as well, go. I gotta see some Elvis because they're not on the corners like everybody says. I've never been to Las Vegas. This was May of last year, early May. Um, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see All Shook Up. I was like, okay, sounds like fun. And that was the day that Daniel Jenkins was there. Now, keep in mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the good experience. I'm gonna buy a seat in the front row, have a couple drinks, chill out. And I had a little bit, I kind of had your hair going on. Um, Next thing I know, Daniel points me out of the crowd, hands me the microphone, and makes me sing a couple bars of Viva Las Vegas. Now, keep in mind, I'm an engineer. I've never actually had formal training in singing. I sang a couple karaoke every now and then on the weekends. And then it just came out, and he was like, wow, okay, this pretty good. A lot of room for improvement, but pretty good. And I said, let's talk after the show and this and that. So we ended up becoming great friends, and I asked him all the questions. I'm like, I'm not gonna get sued if I start doing this, right? And he's like, no, it's nothing like that. And he's the one who really got me into it. And he invited me to the first Elvis Vegas Fest that was happening the following month last year. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make a costume. That's great. I'm gonna make a costume. I made a Cisco alternative, not quite Elvis accurate, but and then that's when you learn. You go in there and they're like, talk to Ronnie Craig. He's like, well, you're gonna get dinged on this and that. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here to have fun for right now. I just see what's going on. And then it just snowballed after that. And then Ronnie Craig invited me to the explosion last year. And from the explosion, I got invited here and there. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. And then I keep building my own costumes, and we can get into this. I've woven everything in together because I think you've talked to Ronnie where I had a personal engineering business, not my day job, but where I have patents.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you need to pivot.
Okay.
You need to pivot. So I figured out that it's more beneficial to let my patents expire, let them become open source. Somebody can run with it because they were patents for knee braces and exoskeleton back braces. And I know you have many questions, and we'll get into it. But just for this purpose, it was just like, okay, somebody else can take it, make it help people. It's for lifting and back support and workers. Okay, do it. And I transitioned my business called ARC, Alberti Revolutionary Creations, pretty widespread, just cover all type of acronym. I was like, let's make some costumes. So I started making costumes. And then I was like, okay, well, how am I going to leverage going all of these different places? So I'm like, okay, well, we'll just put it on the company, and make costume advertising, etc. So it's just been a great experience, just learning. And I know that it's been the right direction because of how people flow in and how information changes and how which way the path leads you.
That's interesting,
Long-winded
man.
answer, but
No, 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 no. Okay, okay. So you've only been doing this now for a year and a half.
Mhm.
So when I talked to you the first time last year, when you were we were doing the song choices, you had been doing it for only 6 months, if,
Barely.
if, if that.
Barely. Yeah.
All right. Now I'm getting my head wrapped around it. Okay. Where'd you go to college?
I went to college in Florida Polytechnic University in Lakeland, Florida.
Okay. And the degree is in
Mechanical engineering. I was
mechanic.
one of the inaugural years, so they just opened up in 2014 and I started in 2016.
Okay. So mechanical engineering. You then you went on to like you said, you had some patents. I checked out your website that had the stuff about, and it's basically like you said, it's just kind of like a robotic exoskeleton, almost like.
Right. It's a backpack with legs, and it supports backpack is broad term, but supports your spine. And the patent's really on the nested spinal assembly, the spring lift assists in the legs, so it's non-powered. It was just so, you can put it on the job site, relieves the tension in your back. People don't hurt themselves, save on workers' comp, people save in medical bills themselves. And that was it was from the pure standpoint, and then from delving into how businesses actually work and about 2 years worth of research, I realized that maybe they're not ready yet for investing directly in the workers like that. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting. Any kind of military or anything application that you've been
I was
approached with?
yeah, I was signed up for some military contracting websites, and the thing is that it's like signing up for medical where with the insurances and whatnot. So you have to have all this registration and whatnot for the medical side, FDA, for the military side, mil spec, all these certifications, and military knows what they want. You can't just come to them with anything. They come out with different bids, and they're like, "Hey, we want this." And if your thing is vaguely like that, you can change your thing to be that. But I was just trying to come out with something off the shelf to help people.
Okay. All right. Very noble. Very noble. Okay.
Well,
So,
it was the pandemic when when the
ah,
idea came, because I was just like, okay, well, we're at home. Who's making the world go round? The people delivering our packages that we're ordering as we're sitting in our house. Things like that. Warehouse workers was my main thought. I was like, these people need some support. They're still going to work. They're essential workers. So I was like, what can my skills do to make them better? And that's where this guy comes into play, because the exoskeleton is actually that I patented is the inside of this. So I came out with this in 2015, and then I just amended it to the point where I could patent it and try to market it.
interesting. All right. So, have you always been, and I don't know, please, I don't want to offend if
No,
this is
that's
the
okay.
wrong term, but it sounds like kind of like you've been into cosplay.
Uh, I used to get offended at the cosplay term because
Yeah.
they're not foam. They're metal. They're actually
Yes.
steel plate. So, I mean, I've worn it as cosplay a couple times, which is not advisable. But I do like the idea of, I mean, who builds an Iron Man suit when they're, 15 is somebody who wants to be Iron Man. It's the same thing, that Elvis said, and he'd read the comic books. He wants to be the hero of the comic book. I saw Iron Man when I was 10, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna do that." So I started making things out of cardboard, and then as I evolved up and up.
Now you're basically Tony Stark.
Yeah, just trying to just I like to feel I like to make things I don't see.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so your exoskeleton, it you made a full on like you have a prototype that works.
I had more than a prototype, so all the stock I already sold. And once I ran out, I just stopped. It was called the L-Ray, lumbar relief analog exoskeleton. Analog meaning there's no power. You didn't need any power. So it was all the math built into the spring systems. So it was just like a winding clock and you'd go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
uh, and now you're basically arc. And then you made it really broad, but your focus kind of is like I'm going to make some really awesome costumes.
Yes. So I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, you can hit your wall 1,000 times trying to get businesses to buy your revolutionary exoskeleton. And I'm like, okay, well, I got into the Elvis world. They liked what I made because frankly, I didn't have the funds to buy, the really nice stuff. And then as my skills kept improving, people are like, hey, you can make me this, you can make me that, or can you do this? I just said, why not just start doing this a little on the side? And then next thing I know, it started to make sense that
Dude,
that's the direction it would go.
dude, Dorian, I love you. I'm
I
telling you,
love you too, Ryan.
we are
Thank you.
we are cut from the same freaking cloth. This is awesome. Let's talk some costumes. Can we talk costumes?
Yeah, no, that's my favorite thing to talk about nowadays, especially, within the
Okay,
last week.
so here's the deal. Number one, honestly, since Disney bought them, I'm like kind of like whatever. It ruined it for me. But
Oh,
huge,
I know what you're going with. I know
massive
what you're gonna
Star Wars
say.
fan, massive Star Wars fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I had replica studio mold Stormtrooper, invented a sound system for it, uh, voice activated microphone with static burst at the end.
Ooh.
And it was built into, if you look at the back of a Stormtrooper, uh,
Yeah.
there's a little place. And I took it from like a bullhorn that you could get at Radio Shack, some of those
Yeah.
parts. I had a circuit board made for the static burst stuff, all that. Microphone inside. I had fans, obviously, in the helmet. You need that to keep you cool. But it was so funny. The only place, and it was not a speaker, it was a horn.
Right.
But it didn't matter. If you listen to a Stormtrooper, it kind of sounds like a megaphone. Like,
Yeah.
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 The only place for the speaker, the horn, was in the cod piece. Okay.
Oh.
It was the only place, but it fit perfect. And man, when you would talk into it, okay, it was loud. You couldn't, it sounded like it was coming from the face or somewhere.
Yeah.
It was from that general area of the person.
Yeah. Yeah. From the front.
But man, that thing was amazing. So that was like, dude, and then I did the full Darth Vader.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
got all the parts, like the leather parts. I
Mhm.
researched it. It's from a place in Argentina that made the
Yeah.
leather parts. I call them up, get the exact same stuff from the same place that made them. Like I called Cirque du Soleil to get the boots. So David Prowse was 6'7". I'm
Yep.
6'4". So I had 3 inches of lift inside the Darth Vader
Oh,
boots.
you wanted to be accurate height too.
So I was the same height, dude. I had the light sequences on
Yeah.
the everything. I had the actual like 1 of 500 lightsaber,
A New Hope or Empire?
New Hope.
Oh, okay.
I was a New Hope. Um, but I could change the sequence too to be um, um, Darth Vader's mask was different in
Yeah.
those, but
Yeah.
the lighting sequence I could change it to be any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was interesting. But so I'm like a real geek when it comes to this stuff.
I have a trivia question for you then if you're a real geek with costuming.
Okay.
Ready?
I'll probably, yeah.
What you have to know. What was the pauldron in a sand trooper made from?
I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know.
it was a children's BMX dirt bike vest from the 70s,
Yeah,
and they just turned it on its side.
that makes sense. Yeah. So much of that stuff. And I mean that one
Well, now you
robot,
know.
yeah, that one robot in the well, dude, I can't even think. A New Hope. Whenever they get picked up, C3PO and R2D2 get
Yeah,
picked up in the desert. What are those Jawas? Uh,
Jawas.
yeah, that one robot in the scrap heap inside the vehicle there had to have been like just a trash can with legs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Not is it the Gonk droid?
I forget what it was, but
The one
yeah,
that is just
yeah,
had the legs coming out. Yeah.
so funny, man. I
Oh
love it.
yeah. I never really got into the costuming of Star Wars. I wanted to. I had some clone trooper helmets. I have the Mandalorian helmet and Boba Fett, but they're the Hasbro, Black
Yeah,
Series big ones. I always had the little figs. So I have like the starships and the figs and all that. So
yeah. And dude, I had the Dawn Post, which wasn't the best one. There was another one, the Imperial Red Guard helmet,
yeah,
and I was fixing to get all the robes made. I had, what's the name of their sticks? The
Vibrostaff.
Yeah. So I made that, uh,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. Oh, by the way, too, like the blaster for the stormtrooper,
Hmm.
everything, the same thing that they used in the movies,
Really?
all that stuff. Yeah, the
You made it
German,
out of an old Luger?
yeah, um, yeah, the old German whatever gun. Yeah. So I mean, just like I'm into it when it comes to that. I
Oh
like the
yeah,
real stuff,
that's like some heavy into it. Yeah.
but
I like it.
so here are a couple ideas. Maybe you can help me. All right, dude. I did a scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Okay.
Hmm.
That was dead on awesome. I mean, and all the, what was it? I forget what Mortal Kombat it was. Eight. I don't know. The one though, where he had two swords
Yeah,
on his back with the chains. And dude, I mean, it was real swords. It was real chain. It was everything.
heavy.
The armor wasn't real armor. Um, but the skulls on it and all that stuff. I mean, dude, it was awesome. But my one thing I've always wanted to do, and maybe you can give me some advice. I always wanted to do a Sub Zero. All right. But I wanted to have those little personal fog machines
Yeah.
into the costume so you could, you know, whatever, find a way to funnel the smoke coming out of you, emanating all around you, those, and they have these. I just saw, man, and I go back, I'm not probably going to do it now, but um, I have gone back and looked, and now they do have these tiny little fog machines. They last maybe 10 minutes. But
They're smoke pencils is what they're called.
okay, is that what they're
Um,
called?
yeah, they're little black boxes and they got a little tube coming out. One of my friends, when I used to do the Iron Man suits, we talked about it, and he had the Star Boost armor, which is the space armor from Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
and he had it in there, but it was like on nitro, like it was a lot. So he'd hit it and it would come out. But yeah, it works the same like a nicotine vape, but it's just
Oh, okay.
vegetable glycerin. That's all it is.
All right. And so it's not cool. It's not cool smoke. It's not, I mean, it is
No.
cool smoke. It's not hot.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's cold smoke, but it's just vaporized vegetable glycerin. So whenever you tube it out, it'll have some residue in the tubes, but it's not corrosive or anything, and it's not hot.
Very interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe I have to get back into it. Um, okay, here's another one. Here's another one. And man, I bought, so there's two uses of this. Number one, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I bought a $2,500 mask, just the mask, Predator.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hmm.
I found a guy in Texas that makes the full suit, body suit.
Hmm.
Okay. And I found a way to get the boots and everything with it so I could be even taller. And
Yeah.
obviously the suit is foam rubber, but it's like you could have all the musculature then.
Yeah.
Um, and then with that, I also got the mask, the actual mask that fits onto it, the arm things. And
Hmm.
then obviously on the one side, you have to have however you do it,
Yeah.
for the two knives that come out,
Blades.
the blades. Yeah. That along with then, of course, what's his name from Wolverine. I've always
Hmm.
wanted to be able to figure that out, but I was going to go, like I said, but all these projects kind of got limited because of being in the movie The Identical. And when I moved to LA, I had to get rid of all this stuff because I couldn't take it all with me,
Right.
you know? So there's some really like, uh, geeky but awesome comic book store, bought the Darth Vader. I mean, I had like 15 grand to do it. And the guy, he gave me a really good price. But yeah, like, so there's a lot of money spent on this stuff, but man, I always wanted to get that pneumatic, whatever, to be able to, you know, with the
See, the
knives.
trick isn't getting it out; it's getting it to come back.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not automatic. So I mean, there's Assassin's Creed cosplayers have figured out a lot of different neat tricks with that, and using like the mechanicals from like a double action switchblade sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's the mechanics behind that. I can see that.
I mean, I haven't personally delved into Predator, but I always liked it, especially the original where he had the
Yeah.
the pauldron gun.
So, and I had the gun too. All the armor basically. I even had a real bone necklace.
Oh, wow.
So I had a lot of stuff going on into this, but and the mask was built with um oh, what do you call it? It was animatronic ready, basically.
Oh,
So there you could have motors or whatever, and I didn't know how to do any of that, and I wanted to be able to do all that, but anyways, long story short, it never came to fruition. But that would have been the most amazing costume.
sounds hot. It sounds really hot.
Yeah, oh, they usually are, right? Oh, what's some of your favorite costume creations?
That I've made?
Yeah,
So I have so Hercules is what I call this one, and I don't remember the history on that, but that was just, because I grew up on a farm in North Florida. I'm an only child, so and I live with my dad. So there was uh I was just figuring out things to do, that to be productive and also, keep my time and, not getting in trouble. And I just nerded out and made him. And I ended up getting the permission of my high school to wear it at pep rallies with the high schoolers, and they would jump on top of me. And there's pneumatics inside of there, so I can hold the weight and everything. So, I mean, it was just a great time. And when I went to college, I graduated to better tools
yeah.
than backyard engineering. And I made one out of I don't remember what gauge steel it was, but at one point I had plates, and it literally looks like a power armor. Um, and that one's called Goliath. Goliath, and it opens up from the back, and you got in it. And I took it basically apart so it could be in display, but it had plates in there that could withstand 9 millimeter. So I was really trying to go for it, and then I was like, let's make this. How can I use my skills to better everyone else? So that was yeah, that's my favorite. Disco is what this one's called because you can't see it at the bottom, but he has a bell bottom armor.
All right.
So yeah, so those two I made in high school. The other one I made in college, and then graduated into more Elvisy costumes. And I don't know if that's the costumes you want to talk about, but there's only a couple that well, I'm proud of all of them. You got to be proud of all your children, right? But
Yeah.
some are your favorites.
All right. So
uh,
you obviously so
I do. Yeah,
yeah.
I sew. I'm basically self-taught, but when I was in college, I worked at a tailor shop to cover the cost of the dorms. And from there, I, learned from the tailors there. I was a salesman and, fitting suits. And then I learned how to make clothes, rudimentary clothes, and everything is kind of just self-taught and getting better every time.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of taught myself to. So I remember I think I was in sixth grade and I had a home ec class, and
Mhm.
uh yeah, I sewed myself a pair of shorts from a pattern, and I was like, well, this isn't that hard. And years later, it came into help quite a bit. It'd be very handy,
Yeah.
especially in the Elvis world, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's the little things like that, like just following the instruction and then you can freestyle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. The biggest thing is learning how to thread a machine. You know,
yeah.
outside of
The
that, it's
runner,
like,
every machine's different, making sure you have, you didn't just waste all your time because your bobbin was empty. So,
right. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's awesome.
oh, that sounded like from experience.
Oh gosh. Or just, yeah, you know how it is. Like you think you got it all right, and okay, and then you start, and then just clunk, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what? And then you got to just take it all out, and you start. Oh, you just like, yeah,
Or yeah, when you're trying to stitch stuff on a belt per se, because I make some of those as well. You get like three-quarters the way through, you have a nice seam line going, and then the needle just hits just right and it breaks. And
yeah, yeah. So you do all this stuff. Have you considered, or has anyone asked you to make them an Elvis costume?
yeah, yeah, there's quite a few guys have some of my wares nowadays.
All right.
Um, yeah, some are Elvis accurate, and some are outside more fantasy.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't know, did you see the Dwight Eisenhower's 1988 show this past weekend?
No, I didn't.
You haven't. Oh,
No.
what a treat. So he came to me when I was in Verona for the Empire State Festival, and he said, "I heard you make costumes because I have custom costumes that aren't Elvis accurate, but I wear them on gigs and private shows, and I like it because that's what I wanted to wear." I heard you make custom costumes. I said, "Yes, that's exactly. I love doing that. I love custom." He's like, "Okay, well." Elvis, the 1988. So he gives me the background saying that, let's say that he got himself healthy and he took a break from touring and then he comes back in 1988 for one last special. And that was my task to collaborate with him, but come up with what would Elvis wear. I have the original drawing that I made for it. Yeah, but it was just an overwhelming response because I know that Elvis had a couple of suits he never got to wear. So I took one of those. I think Dwight sent it to me, and it was called the laser suit, and it had mirrors on it, and it had to do with lasers and reflecting when he was on stage, when he was going to wear it on stage, and so that plus the 80s looked into my inspirations were like who would Elvis have inspired to wear stuff? So I
Yeah.
worked backwards. And so I was more of David Bowie, Michael Jackson, and then of course, Kiss. So that's namely what I've gotten in the comments that like, oh, this looks like Kiss. And I'm like, well, part of it, yeah. Ace Frehley. And it, it's just it was just a great opportunity to just freestyle and come up with something, become canonically the designer for 1988 Elvis has just been an honor. And Dwight and I are really close. He lives like an hour away from me, so we just come in, you see the progress, get fitted, see what needs to be tightened, what needs to be loosened. Oh, we need some more sparkle dazzle here, there. It was just that's my proudest one right now. It's just the other one that I'm really proud about was released at the Vegas Fest, hosted by Kurt Brown, which was Angel Cecito's Cherokee suit, which he designed, but it's all decorated with beads, like fringe pony beads, 6,000 of them.
Wow. Wow. How about that? So
So
this is becoming this is like becoming a thing, a real thing.
oh, it's a thing. And I have people uh in Europe coming to me saying they want to partner and they have these connections, and now have connections in Eastern Europe, Western Europe, China, and things like, oh wow. And it all started because I I couldn't afford what we got going on in the market. So if I can make it, why not?
That's awesome, man. So obviously you're now you do some jumpsuit replicas of actual Elvis jumpsuits, right?
I have to for competitions.
Yeah. What do you do?
So the ones that I've made are a lot of I have a couple two pieces, two-piece Cisco's. The jumpsuit I have a couple. I have the chain suit, which I actually is not mine. That was made by B&K.
Okay.
That was my first actual jumpsuit that I have. And keep in mind, all the actual jumpsuits I have, I bought from Alex Mitchell because we're the closest to the build.
I got you.
Um, when I made I converted an old concho into a Red Lion pinwheel,
Okay.
whatever name suit
Yeah.
that is, Red Lion, because I wanted, just diversity. And then my favorite of all, because I I don't like white suits, which is kind of contradictory to being Elvis, just because you put all this time in it and you're just rubbing makeup on it the whole
Right.
time.
Right. Right. Right.
The Silver Phoenix is my absolute favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Man,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, there's a business to be had doing this. You know that.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I
I've been
mean,
told, and it's really cool. I just don't want to come off as, completely disruptive to the environment. I love people are saying, oh, well, are you competing against X and Y? I'm like, no, I'd rather be like nudie. I'd rather do custom things.
yeah,
But if you need a Cisco vest, sure.
yeah,
If you need me to, make you a snowflake, sure.
yeah,
You know?
yep. I'll tell you what, this is what you should invent. You're a smart guy. I don't have any idea how to do this, but you should do this, and you could probably make a lot of money, and even sell this to other costumers, maybe. Excuse my kitty. Um,
No, no, very welcome.
uh, I always thought, why not build a jumpsuit with a collar? Like you said, it's like white, and we're getting makeup all over it. Why
Mhm.
not invent a jumpsuit that has a collar that looks great, but you can take it off, throw that in the wash, and not have to wash the entire jumpsuit,
Right.
because washing the jumpsuits is what destroys them. It's
Yeah,
not the wearing them and the performing in them, it's the washing of them. So
right.
if you had a collar, only that you had to wash, you could probably extend the life of your jumpsuit.
Yeah. Uh, Actually, yeah. I mean, we can work on something together. I mean, I know that you used to wear some pretty cool custom suits and back in the, I saw
Dude,
some.
that black one,
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm talking about.
and the guys used to call it the Captain Crunch. That was originally Tony Roy's jumpsuit. He and he gave it to me. It was like the first one, and I mean, that was the first jumpsuit I had, and Tony Roy gave it to me, and it was awesome. And I've got video of him wearing it in Canada, this massive competition where it's like him and Sean Clush and Trent Carlini all competing up there, like the 10 of the top guys in the world. And he wore that outfit. Dude, that outfit is awesome. There's a picture of me from, um, I was at Legends in Concert, and they TV Guide wanted to do a story for the whatever anniversary of Elvis's awesome
Mm.
edition, and I was the biggest picture in the magazine. It was about Elvis, and I had my the Captain Crunch, they called it, the Captain Crunch suit on. So I loved it.
I like the epaulets. I like
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
we had to I had to get that recreated because that was awesome. And I also liked the belt. It was a more like a belt. It was fabric,
Yeah.
but it was a little wider, and it wasn't macrame, but it still had then the fringe that hung down, which was nice because that moves and makes your movements, accentuates your movements. That's why I like the
Yeah.
concho. But and I've always done that. Like I will tell them I want, if I'm getting a concho, like I'll talk to B and K. I'm like, give me a concho, but I want kick pleats, and I want them to be black, you know,
Yeah.
or and then I want a black concho belt, instead of black strings instead
Yeah.
of white string. Just give it something more than just white.
I
Um,
mean, if you have that amount of power for um customization, I would just go with, if it's a concho, do black conchos.
yeah,
Silver with the black, and
yeah,
have the other parts in there too.
yeah. So it's really fun to, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that's the best part. I mean, there's some leftover fabric or material from Dwight's suit, which was gold alligator. And I'm just like, what if I made a casual, like, kind of press conference jacket, but then also combined it with the Cisco, but it's gold alligator, and
Yeah,
then have black studs.
yeah,
Like, just you could just freestyle.
yeah.
Nobody and everybody, the people that don't like it, you don't have to like it. It's not yours. You don't have to buy it.
Right. I even thought, and maybe I'll have to talk to you about this. I thought it would be fun to get a jumpsuit for ETA files. Um, and moreover, I did man, probably 20 years ago, not 20. Finn, would you just please let us be? Um, Maybe 15. Let me think here. Yeah, 12 years ago, I made a cartoon drawing
Yeah.
of a character. I called him Ryman, which is spelled like Ryman, like the Ryman Theater in
Yeah.
Ryman. But it was like I made a superhero. All
Yeah.
right. And it was a cartoon version of me, but I was dressed in a jumpsuit. All right. And it was just a fun little thing I did while I was on the road. And a ton of people bought that picture, but it was a jumpsuit. And I was like, man, I had to get a custom jumpsuit made like that. And I've always thought about it. Now I know where to go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, anything you want to do, sky's the limit. I was talking to Bill Cherry at Vegas Fest, and he had some ideas because my day job, I work in electronics and adding lights behind rhinestones on a specific cape so
Oh,
that
yeah.
instead of having a spotlight, just have the lights come out of the cape. So, that's it's great.
I could see Bill doing that. That'd be awesome. Oh,
So,
Bill.
as I said, sky's the limit. Whatever you want to make, I'll let you know if it's not possible, but I haven't run across something that I couldn't do yet.
Do you feel that the most of your business is coming from the Elvis world at this point in time?
For the costuming,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say a good a good 80%, yeah. And the rest of it's I have a couple customers in the Michael Jackson tribute area too.
All
So
right. Have you ever talked to a guy by the name of Michael Knight?
I have not.
So Michael Knight is kind of a little different, but cut from the same cloth as far as costuming goes. And he's Michael. He plays Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
and his costuming skills, and he does a lot of cosplay stuff and whatnot. You got to remind me of each other, but he is like the guy who does the makeup. He's a white
Yeah,
guy. He's a white guy, and man, he's blonde hair, just looks like a run of the mill dude with blonde hair, and he puts the makeup on and looks
just
exactly, and he makes everyone, and he does so many different characters too. I had him on. He does Charlie Chapman. He does Justin Timberlake, George Michael, um, a number of other ones. Johnny Depp. I've seen him as Elvis. I've seen him as
yeah,
Paul McCartney. Like, and he just knows how to do the makeup. He's like a master illusionist. So yeah, very cool.
it's awesome.
Um, just so people know, how do they get in touch of your? Do you have a website for your company?
So my Facebook right
Okay.
now, as I said, I'm in the middle of the transition with the website. There's nothing really on there. It's still remnants of the engineering side, but Facebook is the easiest way just to go to, my name. That's it.
Yeah. Do you get invited to go to events and bring, showcase your stuff beyond just being on stage performing?
I have this past year local in Clearwater to show off my wares because before I made costumes, I made like jean jackets and I would, do Elvis-y things to it, have fringe. For Halloween, I had like a spiderweb lace cape on one and things like that, cool studded designs and but the thing is that I don't want to build inventory. So I still have some of that stuff from over a year and a half ago because
Right.
it's like, oh, well, I really like this, but I need a large. And I'm like, well, I only made one. So, but yeah, I do. I bring some things out. I'll bring some things out there to show but it's not as I said, it's more like a couture, like a bespoke thing. Like it when I talk to somebody or in a fellow ETA and they're like, "Hey, let's do this." I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna talk to you throughout the process. It's not just gonna be, oh, I'm gonna order this from you. It'll be 4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
etc. And then you'll just get it and then hope it's right. Otherwise, it's coming back." I'm gonna be communicating the whole time, send you progress updates, pictures of where I'm at, just so you can see the inside scoop on what's going on with your suit
Huh.
or garment.
Little personal touch there.
Yeah, that's kind of like in the tailor shop that I worked at. It was there since 1941. We were built on customer service. They didn't make all of their own garments, but the thing is that when you're having a customer, it's not just a transaction. It's more like if you treat them right, if you talk to them, if you're in, you get their phone number, you follow up with them afterwards, be like, hey, how's it going? Because weight fluctuates,
Yeah.
and you just be like, hey, do you need that taken in? Maybe do a freebie the first time, or you need to let out. just to create a more of a friendship and a partnership instead of just a customer.
That's awesome, man. There's not a lot of that left.
I
So it's a
just
lost art
trying to
form.
be genuine, you
Yeah,
know?
lost art form. Um, so what's your okay? You're so you do have a day job, engineer. What do you basically do there?
Excuse my laughter. It's just I do a
Yeah.
lot of things. The rundown is I work in what's called an ODM, original design manufacturer. So a lot of large companies and small companies, they have big ideas for new products, but they don't always have the engineering infrastructure like inside. They don't have a team of engineers, they don't have a supply chain manager to make it happen. So they come to people like us, ODMs, and we'll quote a development. Let's say we need production X date. So let's say you're like, hey, I need a we'll just use your smoke pencil idea, right? I need a harness that releases smoke. You give me the details. I say, hey, I need 1,000 pieces by the end of November. Okay, well, it'll be this much to set up and develop, this much to for each unit. And then at the end of the day, we'll have a nice little sticker that says Ryan Files, and you'll have all of your units by November. Now, that's a major simplification from my
Right.
point of view because, got to come up with a prototype.
So
I also add that personal touch, to keep communication, show you progress while I'm doing the prototyping phase.
you're involved nuts to bolt. I mean, you're like the whole process.
Yeah. Facilitation to the only thing I don't do is sell it for you.
Yeah. Dude, that sounds like a fun job.
It can be. It can be. It's you get a lot of interesting projects. Like we're working more in the biohacking space now with red light therapy, with different types of alternative exercising and just a bunch of really cool things. We also work in IoT, so like network gateways. We also work in like asset trackers that U-Haul will put in their trucks so they always know where it is. Things like that.
All
So it's
right.
just and I always like to be involved, especially up front when you're, courting the customer, because then you can really be creative and be like, okay, customers always know what they don't want when they see what you've made, like as in they know what they like when they see what they don't like, is what I mean. So if you come up with a concept, don't get too attached because it might change like 25 more times. But
Sure.
you can freestyle with it. It could be wrong, could be completely wrong. Or you could 180 and be like, wow, that's much better than my idea. You just never know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Do you ever have to go like to their place and set up manufacturing? Like you do the process, you figure out how to manufacture, and you say, okay, you guys need to have this assembly line at your place if you want to do
We
this.
do all of that. So we have global partnerships.
Wow.
We so I have contact with factories over in China, Singapore, um, in Taiwan. I think we just onboarded one in India as well. And I talked to all these people, we need this part made here, this part made here, we'll assemble it all here. So really our job is to make the customer's headache go away. So if you already have something developed and need to make it better, we can do that. If you have nothing developed and you have an idea, we'll scope it out for you. We'll develop it. Next thing you know, we'll be in a pretty package down the line.
People come needing prototypes.
Uh, Typically always, but our main goal is production.
Right.
So we always will do a prototype of a new design,
Right.
like form factor. So I do a lot of 3D modeling. I do a lot of material studies as well as, different sourcing methods to make sure it's manufacturable, which is a lot of prototyping shops don't consider that because they end at prototyping.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, how are you going to mass manufacture this 3D printed piece? I don't know. That's on you. No, we,
Yeah.
we take care of all of that.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like a fun job. And then you throw in your nighttime job, which is costuming and all that stuff, and then the weekends.
There's a lot of overlap, believe it or not. My materials learning from work has helped me come up with different, different thermoplastic designs and just throwing high level words. But like, for example, you recognize this, right?
Yep.
So this is a custom mold that I made from a cast, but using, materials from a project at work, you can have something that looks like gold, but also bends.
Right. It's probably lighter weight.
Oh, it's very lightweight. Now, traditionalists will like the metal, blah blah blah, but if for budget or
Yeah.
if you don't want your stuff to crack, if it's resin, I
Yeah.
think just coming up with different cool, neat ideas to save time and save money and have some fun.
I like your brain. You're awesome. Okay, let me ask you a couple questions. Elvis questions. Um,
Okay.
when people see you perform, everybody, that's what happens in the Elvis world. Everybody labels you. Okay,
Hmm.
you get a label. When people see you perform, what do they say?
To me or about me?
What either one? What do they? What's their
So I've
thoughts?
been told that I have a sweet voice. I don't really know what that means, but I'm working on making it more powerful. But I also uh, I think they say that I'm a nice person. Like I'm very helpful. Like I help people if there's somebody in need at a conference or a festival, I'll help them. If you need something, I'll help you. Or if, anything happens, I can help out or find a way. Just a
Yeah,
problem solver. But if what they say about me is that they like my costumes.
that matters. That matters.
Yeah,
Favorite Elvis song to sing?
you don't have to say you love me.
All right. Favorite Elvis song?
Grass won't pay no mind.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I love the deep cuts. I love the deep.
Yeah. Do you do anything outside of 70s?
My voice is tuned more for 60s. I love like Home is Where the Heart Is, like the later movie era. I can hit the high register of the early movie eras and a little bit of 50s, but I don't move physically like that, so I don't do any of those stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you're obviously, extremely intelligent. You obviously have, you'll never have to worry about having a job with your mind and your experience and your ability, know-how, knowledge, all that. Um, so you're covered. The Elvis thing, a lot of guys do it because that is their business. That's it. That doesn't have to be that way for you. How you being Elvis, will that always be something you think that is intrinsically going to be part of your life, or is it just something that you do for fun? Is it something you plan on doing for the rest of your life? What's your connection to it?
My connection, like I said before, is things can be hard out there for whatever things are going on in other people's worlds, and if I can bring them just a bit of respite, a bit of joy, or just a casual smile, or a wave, it's just being able to take them out and really just bring some sort of positive energy to whatever I'm doing, whether it's a show, you see me walking in a flea market or Target, just wherever. I think I think it's an energy thing. I don't think it's just Elvis. I think Elvis's fan base is what brought me in, and the ability to bring so much joy to people, even, we always grade each other based on, comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy, and it's just we're not here to tear down each other. We're here to build up the fans. We're here for them. I wouldn't say I do it more for fun. I do it because it means a lot to me that other people are having a good time.
That's awesome. Uh, if you had, if you manufacture a time machine at some point, which it sounds like you might, uh, and if you could go back in time and have 1 hour to talk to Elvis Presley, what year would it be and what would you talk about?
Ooh, this is a great question. I think so. My problem is, as a nerd, I'm like that would be a terrible decision to do that at all because you mess up everything. But I'm torn between 69 and 57, because you have those are two different Elvises totally.
Yeah.
And if it's 69, just reassurance that, I mean, he does, I don't know, I didn't know him personally. I don't know the way he thinks, and that's, how I engage in a conversation is, let me read you real quick to see how you're going to react so I don't just immediately shut off the conversation. But it's more like you have to prove yourself. You are who you are, and it's not no image that is put for you to meet. You can try, but you just have to be you and know your boundaries.
Okay.
Set boundaries.
Okay. What about 57?
57, it would be a little different. It would be more just remember to have fun.
Hmm.
Remember that it will be a business, but just if the fun's not in it, just make sure you reevaluate what your priorities are, because it's if you become somebody responsible for everyone around you, then you are now held to that responsibility,
Yeah.
and you now feel obligated to something you once enjoyed. So just have fun and just make sure you continue to do what you love for the reasons that you love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome advice. I've some of my favorite answers were I would go back and I would tell him, you're going to be remembered. Because, a lot of times you hear Elvis talking about, you know, it could be gone tomorrow, and he was afraid, that it could
Yeah.
just all disappear, and just let him know, dude, you're going to be fine. You're going to be remembered. And
Yeah.
the other thing is just, and I think you hear so many stories and hear experiences of, hey, it just started out in the army as an upper, or whatever, to be able to get some sleep, or to be able to get up and do guard duty in the middle of the night, or whatever,
Right.
and it just, you know, it builds and it builds and it builds. And then it's another thing. And then it's another thing. And the next thing you know, you need it, you know, um, and it's just sad. It's just sad. It had to end the way it ended. It ended way too early, way too
I
early.
agree.
Yeah.
Actually, I think my answers covered both of those, didn't they? Like
Yeah.
know your boundaries,
Yeah.
and no matter what, just be yourself,
Yeah.
because that's what people love.
Yeah. Yeah. Good points, man. Good points. Where you got any gigs, big gigs coming up where people can get out there and see the one and only Dorian Alberti?
Well, my public one is going to be the explosion. I'm taking a brief break from the public eye of festivals until then, to build up my suits, because I'm building everything else for everybody, and then I got to make sure my stuff's up to date. But I do have a private engagement in this Friday, so
Okay.
that'll be in Florida. But
Oh,
unfortunately, unless you're already invited, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if not, sorry.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And where do people find you online? Social media,
Uh,
website?
so regarding the for bookings, things like that, it's Gig Salad. I'm on Gig Salad, and it's Alberti Elvis Tribute Experience. So it's my last name, and I'm pretty sure that that's the only Alberti in the ETA for now. So yeah, that's where I am for the booking, and everything else you can go through Facebook, and if you go through Facebook first, the link's in the bio.
All right. Very cool, man. Dude,
Yeah.
you're awesome. I really enjoyed getting to know you better. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I asked you if you need any help at the explosion. You were like, I'm busy. No,
Well, yeah.
I know, different headset, different. When you're in the trenches, you're in the trenches.
Different,
I
yeah,
get it.
different. Yeah. And the other thing is too, I need a lot of help. You just
Yeah.
don't know what you're signing up for. But
Well, as I said, I can help. If you need me, I'm available. I'm a quick learner, and I can figure out, anything you need.
yeah.
So
Well, I'll take you up on that. I'll be up there early. So we'll hang out, man. We'll hang out. Awesome. Well, anything you want to say to the fine folks out there on ETA files? They're going to love this. They're going to love you.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I just hope it's a good good way for me as a person to come out. You know, it's the hair and sideburns don't come off, but the Dorian is still there. And I think that you know, just come out, enjoy the festivals, enjoy the shows, you know, and you just walk up to me, say hello. I'm very approachable, I promise.
Yeah. And
So,
you're tall too. You're what, 6'4"?
6'4", flat-footed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. I was like, oh, yeah, he's tall. Yeah.
Yeah, stage boots, you know, I look like a monster
David,
on
he looked like
stage.
Darth Vader. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should make a Darth Vader jumpsuit.
Believe it or not, one of my buddies had ChatGPT do that. So he has he has a concept of one. And I thought it was pretty neat.
That's cool, man. Oh, we could be nerds all day long, you and me. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love it. All right. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, check him out. He's a fun guy. Check him out. The one and only Dorian Alberti. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in this week to the ETA Files. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the ETA Files community. And if you're looking for something a little different, be sure to stop by my podcast, The Ryan Files. Keep rocking, my friends, and I'll see you next week with another story from the Elvis Tribute Artist world. In the meantime, check out these video links below.